Well, hey there everybody. How y'all doing? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day or night, and welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm Deluxe. All right, let's do another freaking Transformer review because I love some freaking Transformers. Today we'll be taking a look at Magic Square MP Scale MS-06 Tornado. This is their Vortex, fourth member of the Combaticons. All we got left is Blast Off and we can form Bruticus. I'm excited. Bruticus is my favorite combiner, so definitely looking forward to that. So there you go. There's the box art. Looks really good. Got Tornado over there. Got the side. Very nice. And on the back, I've already opened up this. I did a box opening and first impressions for my members. If you want to join the members, I really appreciate that. And hit that join button down at the bottom. Everything. So there is stats and everything. That's pretty cool. Nice picture of the alt mode. Changes from military helicopter to robot and back. And he does form the arm for Bruticus. All right, so let's get right to it. As always, hit those likes, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. Everything's in the description. I really appreciate that. And also go to Show Z. That's where I got this guy. And hit up the top, hit Deluxe 32. And it helps the channel out as well. Go buy you some new Transformers, all that good stuff. So let's get right to it. And let's talk about Magic Square Vortex. All right, let's go. All right, as always, let's take a quick look what he comes with. So he does come with instructions. And Vortex was one of the harder ones in the Legend scale, was one of the, I want to say, most difficult ones to transform. But it doesn't look like it's that bad on this one. So we'll see. There you go. And he does come with a nice collector card. It's nice thick credit card stock. Tornado. And got the same stats on the back. Very nice. He does come with his gun, a rifle. It is just blue plastic. It's got a nice sheen to it. But very nice. The handle does go back up and down. So that's very nice. So there you go. And he comes with the upper body and kind of a waist, I guess, and the head for Bruticus. And there's Bruticus right now. Very nice. Nice red visor. Goes all the way around, up and down a little bit. There you go. Very nice in the back. Oh, nice. All right. So there you go. And that is what Vortex comes with. Alrighty, and here is Vortex in his alt mode, and I think it looks really good. Love the paint. This navy blue, all this gray looks really nicely painted. I don't know if it is, but it's got a nice sheen to it. I know the tinted out windows, I like those. Those are painted. You take the tip of the gun, you just take it off of the gun right here. You just slide it out, and you can squeeze it in between there. You got that. Very nice. Got the little mini guns back here. Just tab them in right there, a little slot right there. Propeller does work. Well, if I can get my hand out of the way. It does work, and so does this one. That's pretty cool. These do move. These are hinged up. You can move those. The wheels do roll, so that's very nice. So you can roll it if you want to. Got the engines back here, which look really nice. Got underneath, if you like to see that kind of thing. That's good. But yeah, very nicely done. I love the transformation too. I love how everything folds in together. Just like the Legend scale one and everything. That's pretty good. Only really the thing is, I wish there was somewhere to put a stand. Like if you have a stand like this, if you have one of those C-clamp stands, you know, everything, you could probably, you know, C-clamp it. If you have a, you know, big enough stand, you could do that. But you could maybe try to put it in a little hole like this right there and try to balance it. I'll try to do that for some pictures, but you know, unfortunately there's no like a little hole where you can put a stand. But and other than that, looks really good. So there you go. There is Vortex in his alt mode. All right, we're so freaking close. There's all four of them together. We got Onslaught, Brawl, Swindle, and Vortex. We just need Blast Off. Like I said, I have it bouncing on that stand. Like I said, if you do have like a C-clamp stand, you can, you know, maybe do a little better than that, but I have it kind of bouncing on that. But man, they look so awesome together. Like I said, I can't wait to get all five of them together. So there you go. There is four of the Combaticons I have right now. Man, looks good. All right, real quick, there is Alternator's Hot Rod. And here is Fans Toys Jazz. And there's some scale for you. all right, here is it in R mode, and I think it's pretty solid. Not, not too hard. Just make sure, like I said, when I was showing you, transformation, there is some C-clip, or I don't know if it's C-clip, little hooks that are going right here that go into the legs. Make sure this front part right here, whenever you move it up, make sure it goes all the way up you can, and then you got to kind of push it in a little bit and get those hooks into the legs and everything. And then you tab in this right here on the side. And it looks pretty solid, very nice. So you do got an elbow bend, some ratchet elbow bends, like that. And you do got swivel, like that. The hands will probably come with blast off and everything. So once I get those in, we'll do that. So there you go, very nice. I'm really excited. There's a Vortex in his arm mode. All right, I forgot to mention one thing before we go back to bot mode. This right here, it untabs right there. You can kind of cover up the head if you want to. I guess it's supposed to kind of sit like that. I guess because it, sit up like that instead of, this is not there. It's going to kind of lean back like that. But this that option, I forgot to show you that. Like I said, it will cover. I forgot what it's for. Like the instructions are not really that good. It doesn't really show doing this. But there is that option if you want to cover up the head. But most of the time you're not going to see it anyways because you're looking from above. So, but yeah, just want to point that out before we go to robot mode. All right, back to transformation. Here is Vortex. So I already have an issue. I think this is a known issue that I've seen people on Facebook. The middle finger just came off, and there's supposed to be a little pin right there. This one does not. I don't know if it didn't come with one or when it just fell off, it fell on the ground. I'm not gonna be able to find that. So that kind of sucks. Just be careful if yours does that. Just be on the lookout for that one. It's my middle finger. It stays in there, but I'm not going to be able to probably put the gun or anything in like that. So I'll probably have to use the gun over here. But other than that, transformation is pretty cool. Like I said, I love how everything collapses in the chest and everything, and the legs. Pretty cool. All right. Looks pretty good. All right. So with the farce articulation all the way around, look down, not much. Look up all the way. It's on a hinge, and no attitude, anything like that. But you got some nice red right there, silver, or gray. All this gray looks like it's painted, man. It's got a nice sheen to it, everything. So you got these little engines. You can move these if you want to. The propeller does. You can collapse it if you want to, if you just want to have two, kind of almost, well, you still have four, but they kind of collapse. But you can kind of get them like that, but like that. All right, so you can go all the way around, kind of manipulate around like that. No butterfly or anything like that. You do have a 90, more than 90 degrees for the elbow bend, which is nice. You do have a bicep swivel with the hand. I'll try to work it without, see if I don't have any, if I don't knock that finger off. You do got a swivel and in and out, mainly like that. There is it's on a ball peg. And you do got a bend at the knuckles and everything. So you got a couple bends. You got one at the base and one in the middle. Like I said, my middle one is probably gonna fall off. Maybe. Just be wary of that. All right. Waist swivel. Nice ratchet. You do have an ab crunch. Now, make sure you do untab when you're transforming. There's a white piece right there. You got to make sure you got to lift it up. If you don't, you won't have an ab crunch. So just make sure when you're doing the transformation, you do that. All right. So, nice ratcheted Van Damme all day, every day. You can kick up way up there, man. Golly. A lot of kick up right there. A little bit back too as well. That's good. You do got this little drop down and everything, so you can get up there like that. You do got a thigh swivel. You do got more than 90 degrees for the knee bend, which is nice. Nice ratchets like that. All right, for the toe, you do have kind of like I guess that's kind of like that. Well, this one moves, but you get the whole foot for the rocker. No toe tilt up or down, anything like that. So nice rocker. And everything. There you go. Make sure that ties in like that. You got a little backpack, not bad at all. So you got the back right there, looks good. All right. Now with the, like I said, with the gun, what you're going to do is going to tab in just like most Masterpiece stuff does for Takara. You can tab in the hand. There's a little slot right there. You just tab in the gun like that. And you got these guns right here too as well. And there is a slot underneath and a slot on the side. So basically you just tab that in right there, tab that in right there, and you got some handguns or, wrist guns, I guess, whatever, forearms, cheapest. But there you go. Let's see, we didn't get that tied in there like that. That's the way it's supposed to look. My bad. Had some little gaps in there. But there you go. There's articulation for Vortex and his weapons. All right, folks, there they are together. There's the money shot. We got Onslaught, Swindle, Brawl, and Vortex. Man, they look freaking awesome. So excited for Blast Off. Can't wait to finish off the Combaticons. So there you go. All four of them together. Good stuff, man. Let's go. And there is MP44 Optimus Prime. We got X-Transbots Bulkhead. We got Takara, Masterpiece Sideswipe, DX9 Sideswipe, and then Tis McGee Redgar. And there's some scale for you. Crapagonis, Crappy Tool Paper, AAA Battery, Carmex, Care Bears, Kicker, and Squeaks. More scale. Well, hey there, everybody. You made this far as always. Oh, man, I freaking appreciate that. All right. Final thoughts on this is Magic Square, and this is Tornado. I think that's what they called him. This is Vortex. Man, I'm excited. This is really good. Can't wait to finish off the Combaticons. Yeah, overall, really good. I like the helicopter mode. Looks nice. Transformation is really fun. It's quite a few steps, but it's nothing that you want to throw out throw across the room or anything like that. So I like even transformation to the arm mode is pretty simple. It's not hard at all. So yeah, transformation overall engineering is really cool. Like I said, I love how everything just folds in to the back and the side of him. Looks really nice and everything. Bot mode looks really good. I don't know, man. I got the Zeta Bruticus. I may use Zeta as my Bruticus. I may use these as my bot modes. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the paint, I think everything painted. The gray looks really nice. The navy blue. You got the red for the visor. You got some nice paint on this guy. Articulation really good across the board. You got everything except for the a butterfly. But other than that, man, really good on the articulation like always. Magic Square does a really good job with that. I'm ready. I know I want some legend scale stuff and everything, but if they could do both, if they did their Minosaur, the Stunticons, and maybe an MP scale, that would be pretty cool. The rumor I heard, not for sure, don't quote me on that, but they may be doing the Dinobots in MP scale. Don't know for sure, but we'll see. But I'm ready to hear some new stuff from Magic Square 2 as well. I know they got a 6-shot and an Ultra Magnus coming. I want to see some more stuff, and that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, overall, the accessories, you got the little guns, you got the gun right there. That's pretty cool. The only issue I really had the finger, that did, pop off. That, that's kind of sucky. But other than that, nothing really bad about it. He's really good. A little light, no die cast or anything like that. But he does feel a little light on the plastic and everything. But I didn't feel like I was going to break anything except for that little finger. But I think I don't think it either had the pin or the pin fell out. I'm not for sure, but it stays on there, so that's all that's all I really care about. So, but yeah, overall, really like it. If you got the other ones, you definitely got to get this one. But yeah, Vortex is really, really good. So hit me up some likes, shares, prayers, and Care Bears. Hit that sub button for me if you don't mind. Hit me up some comments. Tell me you thought of the review. You in on the Combaticons and everything. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. And go to Show Z. That's where I got this guy. Hit Deluxe 32 at the top. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to become a member, definitely hit the little join button on the next to my name. That really helps out the channel too. So I guess I'll see you in the next Transformer review. And as always, be good to yourself and help freaking Transformers and help freaking Magic Square, man. Can't wait to finish off the Combaticons, man. We're going to have another Bruticus. That is awesome. I would love for them to announce Legend Scale, some like Defensor. That would be pretty cool. Some other stuff, but waiting for them. New Age, Iron Factory. I want some more Legends. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Good night, folks.